All right. So thank you so much, Mike, for coming in on time. We were expecting more people since we since last time we were in the Latino Trade Festival to promote our business and promote to invite more to the training, to the event, so they can learn more and they can see what we offer, what we are all about, right? So anyway, sometimes they are busy weekend with their families. We cannot expect that everybody comes in, but nevertheless, those who are committed, those who are willing to do something in their life, definitely they are always be there. Just like you came in today. So thank you so much, Mike, for coming in. I know you for a while now since you are teaching Taekwondo to Alex and some other kids. So I know you very well. So thank you for that. Well, so today we will give you some highlights on what we do, what our background, and what kind of financial knowledge that you can gain in next less 1 hour. So we have a wonderful guest who came all the way from Cali to give us the presentation, and then and at the end I will provide you the feedback form, and let's see what you feel based on the presentation and all. So without further ado, let me welcome our guest this afternoon, who looks young, but his experience, he has a lot of experience, right? He came at the age of 18 to the United States by himself. His uncle was ahead of him in the United States doing some businesses. So he came and he started different things to start up and to fulfill American dream. People normally come to the United States to fulfill American dreams, right? So he started different kind of works and other experiences. But later on, he started with his uncle, the tax business. He is now handling the Liberty Tax. He has a Liberty Tax office in Garner. He's the general manager. He's handling the office. But again, tax business is especially seasonal, January to April, and then the rest of the year there are some people for the small business accounting and all. So he's handling. At the same time, he joined this business, this Carrboro Financial Group, all about the financial services. So in just a short of time, he was so quick. I mean, he worked so hard. Then hard work pays off quickly. So he started from the beginning, and then now he's already a marketing director in the company. All right, he's somewhat midway level of the position in the company. So he's doing great, and he is aiming to go higher position, making more money, and helping more people, reaching out to more families in North Carolina, as well as other states in the United States, as well as in Canada. So this is the good beauty in our business is we are not limited to in particular city, particular state, but we can expand our business in the United States, Canada, and Puerto Rico. That's the beauty. So without further ado, let's welcome all together to present this afternoon's WFG's corporate overview, Yogesh Parajuli.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you. Come on from here. I'm gonna fix it. Can you take it over there on the back and make it like from the front facing? thank you, Sam, for an awesome introduction. And welcome everyone here today, especially mine as a guest. Thank you for coming in. And so, like Sam said, we are World Financial Group. And my name is Yogesh, and currently I am a marketing director with the company. And I'm working on helping families with their finance, and also, since we're expanding in this area, we're also looking for people and individuals who want to make an extra money as well outside. So without any further delay, let me get it started. So today it's all about who we are and what we do. So who do we belong to, who we are, and what kind of service we provide, and what opportunities do we have for you, yourself, and people you know, and the people in the community, right? Anyone who is looking for an opportunity and looking for opportunity, who want to change their life, and want to make their life better. So who we are, right? So we are World Financial Group. We are World Financial Group, and we are an independent marketing company which offers product and services of its affiliated companies to the people, right? We offer a lot of products and services to the people, and we are affiliated with a lot of different companies. Some of the companies that we represent. So here are some of the companies that we represent, right? So we're affiliated with Transamerica, Fidelity, Pacific Life, MetLife, Prudential. I'm pretty sure that you guys have heard about some of the companies that is being presented on the screen. So we get a chance to work with them. So we represent them in front of the people, in front of the clients, in front of the families that we are helping, we are serving. And like every other company, we also have a mission. But our mission is to help people from all walks of life to achieve total financial independence. We all want to be financially independent, right? We all want to be financially free. We don't want to have any financial burden, like making money, paying mortgage, all those kind of stuff, right? So we want to become financially independent. That's our mission. We want to help people from all the different backgrounds to achieve financial freedom. And also, what is our vision? Is to build the largest financial services company in the most powerful business opportunity in the world, right? So we want to be the common household name for every family, right? Like if we want to go out in the groceries, what's the common household name that comes in our mind? Walmart, right? And whenever we want to go out and drink coffee, what's the common household name that comes in our mind? Starbucks, right? But what financial company comes in our mind when it comes to financial services? There's none right now, right? Bank, they only help you transact with the money. But are they sitting down with you and helping you prepare for the future when it comes to finance? No, they are not doing that, right? So we want to be that. So we want to be the institution, we want to be the financial services industry company who want to be the common household name to help people, right? And how we do that, right? How we can help people from all walks of life, right? And also build one of the most successful companies and be the common household name is because of the system that we have, right? We have a system that is a formatted solution to have a successful business in this industry. And talking about our background, right? So our background comes from a company called Aegon. Have you heard about the company Aegon? No. So let me tell you what an Aegon is, right? So WFG World Financial Group is a member of Aegon Group. And it is a Netherlands-based company, and it is a 175-year-old company. And it is ranked 139 in the Fortune 500 companies. It means the top 500 companies. It is ranked as 139 companies. And it has a total revenue of $65 billion in 1 year, and the total asset consists of about $500 billion in assets. So do you consider yourself a big this as a big company? With $500 billion in assets, almost as big as an Apple, right? So Apple is worth about like $1 trillion, but now we are $500 billion, right? So we are pretty much more bigger than Starbucks and Adidas company, right? And we are one of the leading in life insurance, pension group, and asset management and investments. And our major operation is in the United States, also the Netherlands, United Kingdom, and we are present in the multiple countries and cities throughout the world. So let's talk about where families are today, right? So now I told you about the company, who we are, right? Who we are. Now let's see where families are today. Who are the people who we are really focusing on, giving them the education, helping them understand about the finance, right? See, only 39% of the Americans household can afford to cover an unexpected expenses of $1,000. That means if an emergency comes of at least $1,000, like 4 flat tires, right? People are only 4 flat tires away from filing a bankruptcy, right? So this is where most people are today. If some emergency comes, they cannot cover an expenses for $1,000. And 43% of Americans spend more than what they earn. 43%, almost half of the Americans spend more than what they earn. And they borrow and use credit card to cover all those expenses. And almost every American, like 90% think a family primary wage earner needs to own some kind of life insurance. Right? So primary, almost every family thinks that someone, the primary breadwinner who makes the majority of the money in the house, so needs to have some kind of life insurance. And more than a third, like 35% of the household, will feel the financial impact within a month if the primary wage earner died. So if something happens to the primary wage earner, maybe he got sick or he met in an accident and he passed away, that means the family will feel the financial burden within a month. And over 40% of the Americans has less than $10,000 saved when they retire. Is that a good money to retire? $10,000? No, right? But that's what majority of the people have. And only 24% of the Americans demonstrate financial literacy. Only 24% can really understand about money, basics of money. The remaining 76% doesn't have any financial knowledge and education. Also, 77 million Americans, or 35% of the adults, right, have a credit file in collection. So they have either some kind of loan, some kind of debt, they have in collection. 77% of the Americans. They use credit card, but they don't know how it works, and then they end up having some thing in collection, right? And almost a third of the people are worried about long-term care. And yet only 15% own long-term care insurance. And only about 15% of them literally have some form of long-term care. Right? And 1 in 3 Americans have nothing saved for retirement. So out of 5 people, right, we only like maybe 1.5 or 2%, like, have some form of retirement packages, right? Something safe. The median household retirement saving is about $50,000. The median household retirement savings. So the median amount of money that a person has in their account when it comes to, when they're almost as there's a retirement is about $50,000, which is not enough. Maybe like it will only last you for 1 year, right? $50,000. The average couple retired today will have to cover $280,000 in post-retirement healthcare costs. So the health, as we get older, our health declines. So we need some money to support all those medical expenses, to pay for the bills and hospital costs and all medications and all this stuff. Right? And it costs about $280,000 if a married couple. Right? So do you think $50,000 will be enough at that time? No. So we have to prepare for it, right? And also the number one financial worry of people of working age. So those who are working right now, right, at 64%, is that they don't have enough savings. And most of the majority of the people think they are not saving enough. They need to save more. That's the current situation where families are today. So do you think people need help at this point with your finances? They definitely do, right? Because all the statistics that I saw it, right, that gives us a clear understanding that people need to save more money. A family needs to be protected, right? And they need to plan and start saving more and investing more, right? And clear the debt or reduce the debt, those kind of things, right? So next is the need exists. So there is a need for people to understand about finance, right? So what WFG does is it helps us, our company helps us to answer some of the most challenging questions that are being asked today in today's society. So what do you think are some of the common questions that people ask these days when it comes to finance?
How can I do more?
How can I save more, right?
How can I lessen some, give us a lot of like debt, whatever, or something?
Yes, how to get out of debt, how to retire. So let's see what are some of the questions, right? So will I be able to retire? That's the number one question. Most of the people think, will they be able to retire on time and with enough money? Next thing is, how do I start saving and investing? Because we know we got to start saving, but how do I do that? If I don't have knowledge about finance, how money works, then I won't be able to start saving and investing. Third is, when can I buy a home? And that's one of the American dream, own a home. But how many people can actually go and afford to buy a home? That's the question that people ask. But how can I be debt free? As soon as we get out of the high school, right, society teaches us to be in a debt. But who is literally coming to you and teaching you to get out of it? None so far, right?
No.
But we are the company, that's what we do. Right? We are the company, we help you get out of debt and teach you how to do it faster. And how can I protect my family? And we also teach you how to protect your family, your kids, your spouses. And how can I afford to give my children a good education? Right? How can you want your kids to go to college, right? Get a higher knowledge, but how can you afford to send them to a college and university? So these are some of the questions people have, right? And what we believe, right? Everyone can change their current situation, change their financial situation. Every question can be answered. And how you do that is how we do that is by changing the way we think. You can change your life by the way you think about it. But if you think you are always in this situation, you'll always remain the same. If you think you will get out of it, right, and have a better financial situation, better life, then you can make it happen too. It's just about one decision that you make. One click in the mind that can totally change your life. So let's have some quiz time, right? So I'm gonna ask you 5 questions, right? And let's see how much can you afford. It's just about how much can you answer, right? It's just about like understanding about how much of a financial knowledge and education you have. So 1 is percentage, about percentage. If you owe someone 500 plus interest, right, which would be higher to pay back? $510 or $500 plus 5%?
Which one do you think, A or B?
B?
Or A.
Okay, let's look at the answer. What is this? Wi-Fi is not connected?
Wi-Fi or Bluetooth?
Okay, so it's the B, which would be higher, right? So no trick question here. The basic percentage. So 510 is 500 plus 2%, rather than 525, which is 500 plus 25%, plus 5%. Right. So let's look at the end of the question about inflation. If both of your income and the prices of the groceries, gas, and any other products you buy were to double over the next 20 years, how much will you be able to purchase? More than you can buy now, less than you can buy now, or the same as you can buy now?
Or
You think you can buy more than
less, more less, more less, because I don't, because a lot of times you can't go do so much.
Yep, let's look at it. Right, so it's the same as you can buy now. Because, see, inflation is the rate at which the price of the goods and services rise over time. If the annual inflation rate is 2%, so everything goes up every year by 2%, but the money that you are about to buy with that, is that growing at the rate of 2%? Right? If you're putting money in the bank, you're not earning any interest. that means you are not actually making money. So what I'm trying to say from here is, right, whenever it comes to money and savings, right, you need to find a place where you can anticipate the inflation. So you can always have the same amount of thing you can buy. Third thing is the compound interest, right? So if you have 1,000 in a savings account earning 1% annually, what would your balance be after 10 years if you were never withdrew any money from your account? So will it be more than 1,100? Exactly 1,100 or less than 1,100?
You never touch it.
Yeah.
And just let it sit there. I think it'd be more, because when I had my 401k, I never touched it.
But it says it grows at 1%.
Probably. Maybe more. Not that.
You're right. It's more than 1,100
Yeah.
because it's compounding.
Yeah.
So you earn interest upon interest upon interest.
It's like when I had my 401k, I never went into it. Never.
Yeah.
If I could, but I didn't.
Mhm.
And like every year, I looked at my little. They sent me the
Statement.
how much in there, and I have it. And I'm still there, and I've never touched it. And I'm tired like I'm supposed to, because the first time I saw it was like around $33-something thousand. So that's why I've never touched it.
Mhm.
But if I stayed in there, it would have been more when I retired.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, let's look at the next question. Number 4 is impact of loss. So suppose you lose 50% of a $10,000. How much return would you need to get back to 10,000? A gain of 50%, a gain of 75%, or a gain of 100%? If you lose 50%, how much you need to get back to the original amount? How much do you think?
It's hard to say, right?
Yeah. Maybe.
It will require you to gain 100%. Okay, because 50% only gets you to half.
Okay, so 100%.
100%. So like if you lose money in your 401k, right?
Yeah.
You have to earn more than what you lose just to get
Yeah.
back to the principal, right? So question number 5 is risk diversification. So generally speaking, is it more secure to put your money into one place or more than one place?
Put it in more than one place.
More than one place. Or
Yes,
but how
so-
many people are putting in more than one place investing? For retirement, what do they have? Only 401k, right? What else?
Yeah.
Usually, so people are usually putting in one place,
Yeah.
right? So it is better if you put it in more than one place. Okay.
Most people, I heard that some people put in more places, some just put in one.
Right, so it is better if you put it in more than one place. Now, so that was about who we are, right? So we are a World Financial Group, a part of the Aegon Group with a huge credibility on the back, right? And we also work with some of the companies which are already representing and doing business for a long time. So that was us about who we are. Now let's talk about what we do, right? So what we do is we help families with their basic financial needs. So what are the basic financial needs a family needs, right? So they are so number 1 is an emergency fund. So what is it? Do you have an emergency fund? Do you know what an emergency fund is?
It's something where if something actually happens.
Like a rainy day fund, right?
Yeah, so they can actually go into it where it won't affect anything else, as far as they need it for medical bills or something happened to the house, whatever, or something that they can use to cover wherever they need to cover.
Yep. So what we believe is every family needs to have at least 3 to 6 months of their expenses set aside. So for example, if your monthly expenses is about like 2,000 or 1,000, then you need to have at least 3 to 6 months of your expenses just set aside. So even though you lose your job, you become sick and all that stuff, you can still take the money out and cover all the expenses. So you don't have to go in debt, or you don't have to file a bankruptcy. So we educate people that all have to have some kind of emergency fund. And investments. So that's another basic financial needs. They need to know what time, like about the time, right? What's the right time to start investing, and the return, how much interest rate they are earning on their money, and how much risk they are taking. Do you have any idea like how your 401k works?
Marriage showed me somewhat. He told me somewhat. Like whenever.
So on the scale of 1 to 10, where do you grade your knowledge of 401k?
6.
6. Okay. So I'll talk about it in a minute. Okay. So investments, right? So you got to know what is the good time, or when is the right time to start investing, how much money you're earning, and how much risk are you taking. So people need to understand about this. Next thing is mortgage, right? So the next is mortgage. So if you have if families have a house, they will need to understand about the mortgage. What is the right time to refinance, or is it a fixed loan or an adjusted loan? Or how much interest rate they are paying on their money? So people need to understand about all those things. Next thing is education fund. Those families who have younger children, right? They need to understand about how much money they have to start saving. Where is the right place to start saving for their kids? Is it a 529 plan better, or a prepaid plan is better? How to qualify for financial aid, right? Government grant. And also retirement. Like, is your money really growing? Is it safe money? Because that's the money that you're going to be surviving on for the rest of your life. So it's not safe, then you might lose a lot of money. And also longevity, right? Is it going to last you for a lifetime? From the day you retire up until we die, is it going to be enough for you at that time? And so people need to understand all these things. Next thing is health insurance. Now ACA, right? Affordable Care Act is there, so it's a law that everybody has to have a health insurance. And Medicaid or Medicare, once you retire, like you started getting Medicare and Medicaid, that gives you provide health insurance. Next thing is disability insurance. If you become sick and become hospitalized, you still your bills need to be paid. Right? So if you don't have disability insurance, then you might go on a debt, and that might impact negatively to your family. Next thing is life insurance. If your primary breadwinner died, then the family will fall apart. Maybe you may lose the house, go on a lot of debt, and all that kind of thing. So what we educate them is everyone family, especially the primary breadwinner, has to have some form of life insurance. And long-term care. Right? So long-term care is when we are not able to do at least 2 out of 6 activities, right? Like eating, bathing, so regular activities that we do on a daily basis. If we cannot do 2 out of 6, then we need some form of long-term care. It means a certified nurse, licensed person will be taking care of you for you, right? And that doesn't come free. We gotta pay for it, right? And do you know how much it's gonna cost you for a yearly basis if someone else has to come and take care of you and become sick? It's costing about $100,000 a year. $100,000 a year. That's the average, right? And that's right now. When we get older, it might be when we during our retirement age, or even now, right? So you don't know when it's gonna happen, but this most probably during the retirement time when we're not able to do all this stuff, and that's in the future, and it might be a lot more than what we are paying now. And estate planning. Estate planning means leaving a legacy to your family, to your kids, right after we pass away. So these are some of the basic family financial needs, and we help them be good at all this. Educate them, help them, and we work with a lot of different companies. We provide service through those companies as well. Is that making sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So now, let's talk about wealth, right? So what is wealth formula? So we all wanna have a lot of wealth, right? We all wanna have a lot of money. We all wanna have a lot of wealth for ourselves, for our families. But what is it? Right? So what is the right amount of wealth, and how do we calculate wealth? Right? So for that, there's a formula. A lot of people don't know about this formula. Only a few people knows, and they know how to get there, right? So what it is, right? So that is we have money. We all have money to invest or to save as a form of wealth. Now how to gain some more money or how to increase the wealth is by you add a time to it. Right, so you want to let it grow. Your money, it doesn't matter how much you have, maybe $100 or $200 a month you can save, or maybe you have a lump sum of money, maybe $100,000, $200,000. What you need to do to build wealth is let it grow. So you need a time for it. Next thing is plus or minus. You either add or subtract the interest rate that you earn on your money. Right, and the third thing is inflation. So inflation is the cost of everything is going up. You subtract the inflation. Because the inflation is right about 2 to 3%, that means you subtract that. And also you subtract the taxes that you pay. And what is left after that, that is what we call wealth. That is what we call wealth. Right? So this is the actual wealth formula. Right? Doesn't matter if you only have money. That is not considered wealth, because there are other factors that can impact your money, what you have, the amount of money that you have. Because when you use that money, you might be paying taxes on it, right? If you don't use it for a longer period of time, then inflation might eat some of your money, right? Or negative return can take away some of your money. So this is the actual way how to calculate how much money, how much wealth do people have. And next thing we talk about is the Rule of 72. So it will help you understand how long will it take for your money to be doubled. Do you want to double your money? How soon do you want to double your money? Like yesterday?
Yesterday or everything.
Like now,
something, yeah, I want to do something. The quicker I can do it, the better.
Okay.
I ain't trying to rush, but quicker I can do it, the better.
Okay, so you want to double your money as soon as possible, right? But the important factor that impact or that helps you double your money is the interest rate. Right? And through this rule, the Rule of 72, you can exactly find when your money is going to be doubled. Let me ask you a question. Which bank you banking with?
Wells Fargo.
Wells Fargo, right? Do you know how much interest they give you on your checking account and your savings account?
They told me something.
Okay, it's probably 0.01% or something, right? Yeah. Now, what does the Rule of 72 says is if you divide the number 72, right? If you divide the number 72 by the interest rate that money is growing. For example, it doesn't matter how much money you have, 100, 200,000, 10,000, or 100,000. What it matters is the interest rate. So if you divide the number 72 by the interest rate, whatever the result comes out, they will tell take that many years for your money to double. So if you do the math for the amount of money, I don't know how much money you have in your Wells Fargo account, but what I know is they give you about 0.01% interest. Now if you want your money to double, what you do is take number 72 and divide it by 0.01. How much would that be? That will be about 720. So that means your money will double every 720 years. But you just told me you want to double like yesterday. Right? But do you think now your money is actually going to double tomorrow? Today? Yesterday? No, right? It will take 720 years for your money to double. So do you think is that a great place to double your money? So what do you have to do now? Maybe we invest somewhere else where we can get higher interest rate, right? So let's look at some of the examples, right? There's an internet Wi-Fi.
What happened? Is it work with the Wi-Fi or?
No, something screen is popping up about the Wi-Fi, cable Wi-Fi, yeah. So the magic of compound interest, right? So if you earn 4% on your money, so instead of investing in a bank at 0.01%, if you find a place where you can earn 4%, that means now, if you have 10,000, and if you have 29 years of age, that means this 10,000. If you invest in 4%, that means 72 divided by 4 is 18. So now your money doubles every 18 years. Is it better than 720 years?
Yeah.
It is better, right? So what we have to do is go find a place where you can earn at least 4%. That means if you invest 10,000, then by the time you retire, you'll have 40,000. Better than doubling every 720 years, right? But what if you find a market or an account like a 401k, right, where your money can grow 8%? Do you think that will give you more chance, more time to double? Or less time to double, or how often do you think you will double? So if you find 8%, means what you do now is you divide rule 72 by 8. Number 72 by 8. So that means you double now every 9 years. Right? So higher interest rate, less number of years for your money to double. Is that what we want, right? We want to double it as soon as possible.
Yeah.
But are we actually doing that? No, none of them we are doing it, right? See, if you have a money that's growing at 8%, that means the $10,000 that you would invest or put it in the bank, now you would have $160,000 by the time you retire, which is a pretty good amount of money. What if you get help with some financial professionals, or you learn about the market, you learn about the money, the investments part and all that stuff, and invest on your own money? You know how much interest you can earn up to?
No.
If you know everything, the market and all that stuff.
New, yeah. Probably.
So you can probably earn in the average of about 10 to 12%. You think 12% is the amount of money you want to earn? Interest? So now, let's use 12%. Divide 72 by 12. How much would that be? That would be 6. So now your money is double every 6 years. So the same amount, right? You have $10,000. Instead of investing or putting it in the bank, you put it in a place where you earn 12%. That means now you will have $640,000 by the time you retire. See, the percentage wise, it's not much difference, right? Here is just 8% and it's just 12%. So that means it's only 4% increase on the interest rate, right? But see the result over here. From 160,000, you make 640,000. You think that's a big difference? But the interest rate is not much difference, right? That's what we call the magic. It's the magic. People, those who understand money, the finance, normally like banks, right? We all put our money in the bank. But what do the bank do is they reinvest somewhere else. And they earn about 12%. They make about 12% of the money. And how much they give you? 0.01%. So who is eating all that money? The banks. They are getting richer, and we are always staying poor. So if you understand this, then you can make a lot of money. If you don't, then you pay a lot of money as well. Like a credit card. Do you use credit card?
No.
No, you don't use credit card? Do you know how much a normal average credit card is financed at? Interest rate? What's the charge on the interest rate on a credit card? Do you have any idea? It's about 18%.
Yeah.
18%, right? So now divide 72 by 18. It's like how much? It's 4. So that means the amount that we were supposed to pay is now doubling every 4 years, and our money is doubling every 18 years, or 720 years. So doing so, do you know when we get wealthy? Never, right?
Yeah.
So what we teach people is get higher interest rate on our money, like how much bank does. So we teach them where banks put their money, help them to put their money where banks put their money, so you can make all that money. Besides letting bank earn all the money. See the effect of taxes on. So let's take an example over here, right? So see, if you save $10,000, if you save $1,000 at a 3% interest, that means you earn $30 in a whole year, and you pay 25% tax. If you earn interest, then Uncle Sam is not going to let you go along, right? He's gonna come and ask his fair share. That means you pay him 25% tax. That means $7.50 out of that $30. So how much you have left is $1,022.50. Well, pretty good, right? In 1 year, from 1,000, you make $1,022.50. But what most of the people forget is the inflation. The cost of everything is going up by 3% every year. So if this costs $100, like $1, right? Next year it will be $103, or $103, right? So that means inflation at 3% is that now $1,022 is like $30. That means you will end up with $992. So in this scenario, if your money is growing at 3%, you are losing your money. What we only have to do is find a place where you can earn at least 5%. So if you invest in a place where you earn 5%, then at the end you will have $1,007.50. Right? So we need at least to invest where the money earn at least 5%. Now, what would you do when you find a financial vehicle and earn at least 5%? Invest. We start saving in that place. So next thing is about X-curve concept. So what is it saying that, right? So the here, the blue line says the responsibility line, and this is the wealth line. So generally speaking, right? So when we are younger, like today, we are the youngest we'll ever be, right? So when we are younger, we have a lot of responsibilities, like kids, home, car, their education, family, a lot of different things. But what the line says is it's gonna go down. It's gonna decrease as we get older, right? Your kids will will go to college and they start living on their own, right? Your houses will be paid off, cars will be paid off, so you have less thing to worry about in the future. And what the other line says, and so when we are younger, right? So we need to take care of our family. If you are the primary breadwinner in the family, that means you have a lot of responsibility to take care. And if you don't have enough money, then what this thing suggests is to have enough life insurance protection. If something happens to you, they can take care of your responsibilities. But what the other line says is the law of building wealth. So what does that mean? Right? So since our responsibility decreases, right? But in the future, we need to take care of ourselves as well. At that point, what happens is we need to start building wealth as well. Once you hit that midpoint right here, that means you achieve financial independence. So what it's saying is you must take care of your responsibilities while you are building wealth as well. Does that make you clear? Are you with me on it?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's look at the other one. So let's look at the market, right? Whenever you're trying to invest your money, there are basically 3 markets where you can put your money in. One is a fixed market, another one is the variable market, and another one is an index market. Let me explain to you briefly on this, right? So fixed market is like your bank account or CDs account, right? Certificate of deposit. You put a certain amount, they give you fixed interest. That's what you're gonna earn every single year. So that's fixed, like maybe 1% or 2%. It grows, your money grows, but it doesn't grow much. It's just a little. But here is the variable market. It's like your 401k money. It's like you are actually putting money into the real market. You're investing your money on it. So as the market goes up, your money goes up as well. If the market goes down, you lose money as well. It's like a roller coaster ride. Heart attack. You know the line heart attack? Yeah, it's like that. But sometimes up, sometimes down, right? So that's what it is. So do you think you have a peace of mind over there putting money in there?
They have when y'all thought it was funny where what the manager did was instead of one thing to invest in from our 401k, he did 2.
Okay.
And he said, let's put 100% either one.
Okay.
And wherever one goes up is where my money goes. Because what I put in the Harris Teeter put in 2. Wherever I put in, they backed it up where I put in. So I was like, does that really work?
But let me ask you a question on that. Do you know exactly when the market is gonna go up?
I get the when I get in the mail, they'll send me the paper and it'll show me like,
It will show you the past, right?
Yeah.
But you cannot predict the future.
yeah,
When it's gonna go up or when it's gonna go down.
yeah.
Right? So it's really not. It doesn't give you a peace of mind about your money, right?
Nowhere, yeah.
Yeah, you always have that. You might either lose the money. Think of it. You were like just like 5 years away or 2 years away from retirement, and you know what happened in 2008, right?
Yeah.
So what if you in 2006 you were about to retire in 2008, then market collapsed in 2008? People lose half of their money.
Yeah.
So that's what the variable market is. You don't have the peace of mind. And the third thing is the index market. So what is the index market is, right, as the market goes up, your money also goes up. But if the market goes down, like this market right here, like the 401k market, if it goes down, but if you have invested on the index market, your principal and interest will always be protected. That means you will never lose any money in here.
So it locks it, so.
Yeah, it locks it, right? So you will never lose money in here. And again, when the market goes up, you gain again. You grow up again, right? So your money goes up again. And if the market goes down, then you all again is locked. So every time it goes up, it goes up. The market goes up, your money goes up. But every time the market goes down, that means you are locked. So out of these three markets, right? Which one you like to have your money put in?
I get it,
On the index, right?
I know about that, and then I'm like, yeah, that way I know I got nothing. Even though it goes, like I said, it goes down, I ain't worried about it. It'll stay there. It'll stay locked in. I ain't got to worry about it.
Yeah, so this is the one you like to have your money put in. But where is actually your money right now?
I got money just be with the bank.
So either in this two.
Yeah.
But this is something you don't like because yours is not growing. You don't here. You might lose money, right? So if now you know. So now, do you think you want to move your money from here to here?
If I can get where, like I said, locks, and then I just.
Yeah, that's why it's called index market, right? So it locks your money.
Yeah.
So now you know what it is. So do you think you want to move money from here to here?
If I get to the bank, if I can tell them, hey, I want to block up where I want to make sure my money goes up and stays there. Me do this, and say I rather and ask them if they know about it, and they say I want that. That way, I won't lose anything.
Okay. Maybe we can sit down again and explain more. I can explain you further more about what it is, how it works, and all that stuff. So let's talk about taxes now. Like people love talking about taxes, right? So let's look at it. If you look at this graph right here, so the line right here, the red line you see, that's the highest marginal tax rate. So that's the highest tax rate the government takes from people. And the gray part right here, the shaded part, is the government spending. So what this graph shows is the government spending goes up, right? So the government spending is going up in here, right?
Yeah.
So what is happening to the tax rate? It goes up. And so here, why is so big? It's because what? Do you know what was going on in 1945, 1946? World War.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Right? So World War was going on at the time.
Yeah.
So after the World War, government need money. So what did they do? Is they increase the tax rate, so people pay more money in taxes, so they can fund the military or to the war. So do you know? So at that time, the marginal tax rate was about 94%. So what that suggests? If you pay 94% taxes, that means every $100 you earn, you take home $6. Is that something you want to do with your money? No, you want to keep as much as you can. So, but see, what happened after that is, so now the government spending decreases. The war ended, now the economy is getting better, the government spending is going down, and see what is going on with the taxes. It's going down too, right? But now fast forward today, in today's situation, the government spending is up right here. So at that time it was 121%, now it's 108%, pretty much close, right? But where is the tax rate today? It's 39%. So looking at this graph, what do you say? The taxes from here, tax rate from here is gonna go up, stays the same, or gonna go down?
What's going on now? I heard they talking about need more money for this, or need more money Shrewsbury for what's going on, where are they? I'm thinking maybe more.
It's gonna go up higher, it's gonna be more higher. So now, let's do some exercise, right? So take $1 and double 20 times. How much do you think it would be? If you double $1 20 times. So 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 6, 6 to 12, 12 to 24. How much it would be if you double it 20 times? It'll be about $1 million. It'll be about $1 million. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
It'll be a lot, right? 1 million. Now, let's do another thing. Now let's pay taxes on that money. Let's pay 33% taxes. Like everything you double and you pay tax, 33%. And again double, you pay 33% tax. Double again and you pay 33% tax. How much do you think it would be at the end when you finish 20 times? Before, without paying taxes, it would be 1 million. But what do you think it will be after paying taxes? It'll be $28,000. See, without taxes, 1 million. With taxes, 28,000. Isn't that shocking? Right, so do you think taxes are good?
Depending what taxes for.
Yeah, so don't get me wrong, right? I want to pay my fair share,
Yeah.
but not more than what I'm supposed to.
Yeah, that's going beyond what we should be paying.
Yep.